What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at Nebula from Avengers Endgame, and if you want to order this figure, head over to bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below. It might not be available at the time of this video, but just keep one on your favorites, because I bought mine after it sold out. So it goes in and out of Big Bad, kind of like, they got some stocks that just pop out of nowhere. If you happen to see it, just keep on checking them. So I'll put the link down below, and if you're interested, go ahead and check them out. It's $4 shipping, and they double box your item, so that's pretty good deal right there. So let's get this thing open. Now, I initially have no plans on picking her up, but as you know, there's a shortage of Marvel figures, and I got really bored this past couple of months. I haven't picked up anything if you've been watching the stream. So I decided to, what the heck, let me just pick her up in a homemade suit Spider-Man. And I thought I was going to regret my decision. I still might. Her value might go up. But I don't really collect for that. I am planning a video that involves her. That is the main reason I picked her up. Not because she might be expensive down the line. Because of Yondu, we've seen that pattern. But I feel like we're gonna get another shot at her. The question is when. It might take a while, but for the video that I'm making, if I wasn't making that video, I probably wouldn't have us collectors, we find a reason to buy something that we don't even like. Let's take a look at this figure. I'm not saying this is a bad figure. It's an excellent figure, just not in line to my ways of collecting anymore. It doesn't come with much. It comes with hands. The batons that she does have, she got like this obviously different hand from her bionic arm, or whatever you want to call it. It's zoom out a little bit here. It's there's a lot of details in here, like wires and fingers. I wish she had one of those articulated ones, kind of like Iron Man, because she doesn't really come with much, but at the same time, she's kind of on the cheaper end comparing to the Hot Toys that we have now at $234. I'm not saying she's cheap, but comparing it to what we have now, $234 is not really the norm anymore. I think it's more $250, so we can forgive her a little bit with that. But again, decent accessories. I wouldn't say completely nothing. It does come with this like lightning effects right here, and this holster. I'm telling you right now, I almost threw this entire figure just by attaching this holster. It is a pain. I don't even know who thought of this idea, but it is bad. And then you got the gun right here. If I am selling this figure, I would ask the buyer first if you want me to remove it, because it is a pain. And I should charge just $30 just by inserting that holster by itself if I decide to sell this in the future. Look at this gun right here. It has this blaster, whatever you want to call it. It has a lot of details on it. Carbon fiber, hand, pretty cool. And you got the when it's retracted, that's the version that you're getting here. So it's nice. It is really nice. And then you got this beautiful base right here, which is Endgame / I don't know. That's the Ravager. Is that what you call them? The symbol. And going on to the figure itself, visually it looks beautiful. Like the outfit, kind of like Star-Lord, and if you got Yondu as well, they would just look beautiful together. That entire outfit just looks great. There's a lot of moving parts in here as far as intricate pieces, so you just got to be careful handling them. Now, I know Star-Lord's, the first one at least, it's made out of pleather, so there's parts in here. So is it prone to flaking? Depending on where you're at, I can't really say too much about that issue, because I've never experienced one. Even the Crow, which is the king of flaking, Catwoman, none of mine did. Luckily I live in a place where humid is not really a big factor. Climate control and all that stuff is where I live in. But keep that in mind if you are purchasing this and you live somewhere humid, because it might happen to you. And the last thing I want you to do is buy a figure that would deteriorate in a year or two. Now you won't get your money back. So just keep that in mind. But as far as visually, getting that out of the way, it looks great. Like I said, There's a lot of, I like it when an outfit is intricate like this, because you can really see the work that they put in, and also the pieces, they're not molded, they're actually stitched in different pieces, compared to the Black Widow that from Endgame, which is just, it feels just one piece. And again, inserting this with one hand probably is not the best idea. So I reverted back to my other hand and used two hands. And even at that, as you can see, I am struggling here, because there's honestly, there's a camera in my chest here. So, but it's not that hard, to be quite honest with you. It's just, I don't know why, decided to do it in front of the camera. But it's on the instruction manual. You got to put it in there. Imagine if I put the holster in front of the camera. This video would be an hour and a half long, because that thing is a pain. Now, the things that I have issue with Star-Lord before is that kind of like pauldron kind of thing in her shoulders. That is just glued on. So it, at least from Star-Lord, got unglued over time. Most of my figures are standing anyway until I decided to pick them up and take pictures of them. But you can see inside there's like a plastic that I would not ever remove, ever. I don't know why it's in there. It doesn't bother me as much that I feel the need to remove them. And you can see her bionic arm in here. Looks beautiful. Just, there's a joint, but feels like Alita, which is, there's no bicep swivel, but a single jointed arm in here to make it aesthetically pleasing. But the arm itself has a lot of details on it. So as far as the body for this figure, it's unique in a sense. It reminds you of a Winter Soldier, but it's beautiful. I do like it. And see at the bottom here, her shoes, wearing high heels. Now, as far as the head sculpt, so I got this image online, and let's transition it. Head sculpt is one of the best that Hot Toys has ever done. The shape, you've seen it there. This one's a little, but it could be the angle as well. But could it be a little bit rounder? Instead of, I don't know. But I have no complaints whatsoever. This is a beautiful head sculpt, one of their best, to be quite honest. It's amazing. You can see the seam from the side, but they cast this, so it's bound to happen. But it's not bad at all. But the likeness is amazing. If we're talking about just pure likeness, this is on par with the Yondus and the Hellas out there. It is good. That one, if you're into head sculpt, I can tell you right now, one of the only things that a lot of collectors or fans notice is that the plate on her head is different. I was hoping that would have been magnetized, that you can replace it, whatever, you can interchange it, but it's not. But still, there's a lot of details on it. Like there's some like black kind of weathering or whatever you want to call it, or on her black wash or whatever on her, like the entire head sculpt, that makes it just beautiful. It's just nice. So if you're a fan of head sculpt, like I said, you won't, the only thing that I wish they would have included, and they don't do this anymore, is the second head sculpt where she's screaming, because she does a lot of screaming on the movie. But they won't do that. I think if they did that, it would be $250 and no one would buy it. That's just like a wish list there. As far as articulation with the head, no problem whatsoever. And like I mentioned earlier, there's like a plastic inside to avoid staining. This is single jointed elbow, no bicep swivel, nothing like that. So a little restrictive, but then again, it's not bad, like the look, because it is, bionic, kind of like Alita. You won't mind this at all. Ab crunch, you do get a decent amount. Now on the other arm, it is double jointed elbow, but because of the outfit is a little bit restrictive, that as far as you would go. You can put it on the side, bicep swivel. On the legs, the crotch area of the her pants or overall suit is a little too loose. It's so putting her in more dynamic poses in the leg area, it is a bit of a problem. The knee is double jointed, but again, some restriction there. And the biggest restriction I would say is the ankles, because I feel like there's an ankle joint in here, but she's wearing high heels, and pretty much there isn't. There is, but there isn't. It's pretty much useless. She can pull her back like that if you want to. I don't know why you would, but those are the articulation points in there. And putting her so the good news is she's not Spider-Man. You don't really need to put her in any dynamic pose, and she can still look pretty badass in simple poses like this. So you know, when you got her holding her baton and, you know, those electric things right there, it still looks pretty good in my opinion. So not necessarily need to have you know, just all those articulation, even though it would have been nice, especially for her suit to be a little tighter, you know, on the leg area, so you can kind of move it a little bit more. That's the only thing that I would say they could have added. So let's put her in another pose here where she's holding the gun. As you can see, there's a tight pose on the right elbow there, so you could do this, you know, when she's just like holding her gun there, no problem. So the other hand, I don't know if you noticed, but she doesn't have a, I guess she's right-handed, so she doesn't shoot gun with her left hand, which makes sense because I don't shoot gun with my right hand as well. I'm a lefty. But yeah, the good news about this is that you can make her pretty much hold or include all the accessories within her. So how I would pose her is you would see it. So basically the only ones that you're going to keep are hands, which is awesome. I like it when all the accessories is within the figure because there's no wasted space, nothing like that whatsoever within this figure. So yeah, this is her just kind of like walking in. Now just size comparison, because she is a female character and most Hot Toys female characters are on the shorter end. And you can see the size disparity here between her and Black Widow. Although I know, I forgot her name, Jillian, is tall. I think she's 5'10". So it makes sense that she's tall, but she's almost as tall as Star-Lord here. And they're both on their base. I think Chris Pratt is 6'2", something like that. So it's not a big deal. Honestly, it's not a deal breaker for me whatsoever. I still think she poses well with other figures, and I'm not gonna put her next to the female characters of my Marvel anyway. She's more so gonna be with Thanos, and that was my goal all along. And as you can see here, her father Thanos here, just perfect match. You can see how big Thanos is. I wouldn't even call her tiny, but everyone looks tiny next to Thanos anyway. But yeah, I think they complement each other really well. It kind of makes me sad that I canceled my pre-order for Gamora. Again, I'm not gonna pick her up in secondary market. I don't think she's that good, and I feel like we're gonna get another Gamora, but it just didn't wow me initially. The head sculpt is good, but you know, if it pops up again on Sideshow or Big Bad Toy Store, sure, why not? But right now, I'm not gonna go out of my way to pick that up. And here we go. Here she is, you know, Nebula. Is she a must-have? I would say no. You know, unless you're a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, you're trying to complete all of those, and you got Yondu and all that stuff. But if you're trying to collect, you know, like myself, who's just kind of getting all the main characters, she's more like a BC character. So even if you're just, you know, assembling your endgame lineup, you wouldn't miss a lot if she's not there. With that being said, there's some figures that you got to get because they're so good. You know, like myself, I picked up Cody just because he's so good. She's not on that level, in my opinion. Headsculpt is amazing, but it doesn't give you that Cody wow factor, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, yet I still got Cody. If you're not a huge Avengers or you're Guardians of the Galaxy fan, I don't think this is going to wow you. So you don't have to go out and, you know, outside of the head sculpt, everything else looks, you know, like how it should be. No wow factor. With that being said, it's still an excellent, amazing figure with a decent price. If you are somewhat of a fan, you know, or Marvel trying to complete your endgame, I would say pick her up, you know, but it's not a must-have in my opinion. So thank you for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and I'll see you guys in the next video.